Hey guys, okay, so this is the GG video that a few of you asked me to do. Disclosure, first of all, not a tutorial, and I certainly am not a teacher. I don't feel particularly comfortable doing this because I don't want anyone to think that I'm being arrogant by doing it, but I'm only doing it because I've been asked by more than two of you to do so. So anyway, let's get on with it, crack on, because it's probably going to be a long one. So with GeGe's, to note, take everything click by click. Get a click, move on to the next pin. Get a click out of that, move on to the next pin. The reason being for that is because you've got these heavily serrated drivers. They usually come with 3 serrations or 2 serrations, but I have seen them with just the 1 serration. In fact, this one has got a 1 serration in it. So yeah, click by click, and you're basically pushing it up a level each time. If you go and push it up straight, get 3 levels in one go, and you get a little bit of a false set, you are, because the tolerances are so high, you are never going to set the other ones without dropping everything. So take it click by click and move on to the next one. That is why they're so successful, I think, is because they're so tricky and nasty and hard to keep set. So if you follow the click by click method, you will get there. So sometimes you need medium, sometimes you need heavy. Very rarely you're going to use light tension on a GeGe, and that is because the springs are so strong. Here's a little illustration of a spring. So they're about 1/3 of the size longer and wider to a normal spring, and I'll show you one in a minute when I get one open. So yeah, medium to heavy tension. Keep track of the lock as you're picking it and pay attention to what you're doing is really important. Like me, when I'm fiddling away at night watching something on the computer, I don't pay attention. I just aimlessly pick, and you won't get anywhere with a GeGe. You've got to pay attention to what you're doing, click by click. So chase the, sorry, that's meant to be binder. Chase the binder. So as you're going along the stack, what I do is pretty much feel the whole stack of what's binding, and then go back to the one that I thought was binding the most. You can feel it because it gives you the most resistance as you push against it. So yeah, hit that one first. If you hit the one that is got not as much binding going on, say a little bit of spring, but you can feel it'll give you a click, and there's one next to it is completely solid, don't go with the one that's going to give you a little bit of a click, because as soon as you set that and you try to set the one next to it, it's all going to drop again. So go with the one that's binding the most. It's so important. It's so easy to say and it's so hard to do, but yeah, keep track of that and go click by click. I'm going to say click by click a lot here. Ignore the key if you've got it. Don't try and set it to the key. Go click by click. Obviously pay note of the key, because then you can see roughly where you need to be at the end if you've got a key. And don't think just because you've got the profile of the key going on in the lock that it should be open, because they've got tapered key pins. So you've got to do that little bit of a nudge underneath going up the stack, as one of them might just not quite be set right, although it may feel right. Just a little nudge, that'll probably come up as well. Beware of oversetting. If you start oversetting, everything starts dropping, you get the crunching. You'll know when you're oversetting, and as soon as you've overset, it's game over, restart. You cannot get back to a pick from an overset without doing it all over again. I mean, you may be able to, but you'll drive yourself crazy crackers trying to get there. So don't do it. And yeah, WD-40 is your friend. Use it, because GeGe's end up getting clogged up a lot. I don't know why. They're particularly, it's like a snotty nose they get. Yeah. Pin nibble in, click by click, strong tension, pay attention. Oversetting, so you get the crunch drop sound. You also, if you get any sort of crunching, or if pins start dropping, then you know you're oversetting. And the reason that pins start dropping, I don't know if this is going to be a good illustration or not, but if you've got a little bit of a false set going on, and excuse the very poor work here. And you see there's the shear line under where the little sort of eyelid looking thing is going on. So this is the Bible looking down. Yeah, if you've got a little bit of a false set going on and you're oversetting, so you're pushing one of the key pins up through, you are basically counter rotating and pushing this back that way. So everything in the other chambers is just going to drop out. Okay, so that's that. What are we on? 5 minutes. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be a video. I made this lock last night. It is a GeGe. It did have GeGe pins in it, and I've had a spare key on one of these other locks. Which one? This one actually was. So out of that spare key, I was able to do a little bit of filing and get to that. And fiddled with the pins in here, and I've actually made this lock harder because it was sort of a medium pick beforehand. Yeah, it works perfectly, lovely, smooth, and yeah, very happy with that. This is another GeGe, just a Euro. Obviously you've got the crazy warding and whatever with the GeGe, but yeah, a lot of fun. This arrived to me as a 6-pinner, but it is actually, you've got the capability of 7. So I put a 7th in it. I couldn't pick it when it was 6, and I still can't pick it now. But it's got some crazy bitting on it as well. So I'll get it one day. But yeah, a lot of fun that one is. And we've got a 6-pinner here. This has got a standard in number 2. And yeah, crazy bitting on that one as well. Really hard to set. I've done this one in once or twice, but I've spent some hours on it. This one also has got a standard pin in number 2, and the couple that I've seen with standard pins, if they're going to have a standard pin, they've always been in number 2. I don't know if that is the way they work, but it's just something to note. And if you've got a standard pin and you're struggling to set everything else, I would try and start by setting the standard. If you don't know where it is, or if you haven't taken it apart, and yeah, I mean, you can find out because you can tell by the pin if it's a standard or not by picking it. But yeah, try setting the standard pin first and then going click by click on the rest of them. That I have noticed works. That has worked for me on this one, although I've only picked it a couple of times. That is what I did to do that, because I couldn't do it. Everything was just dropping otherwise, and it's really frustrating when you're trying to set things and everything drops all the time. So yeah, time to move on to a different pin and try something different. If it's not going to do it one way and you try several times to do it that way, try a different way, because you're just going to drive yourself crackers again. This is the Assa from Number 1 Pick Junkie. It's a GeGe, but it's got the old style keyway on it. I don't have a key for that. The Assa I picked in number 34 of my videos, and this one I picked in number 33 of my videos. So yeah, go back and check them, because they're also, you know, fairly informative. There's another one which is the Yukov Challenge lock, which was called the Glostal, and that was in number 36 of my videos. Yeah, so anyway, enough about these lovely locks. They drive you absolutely crackers. So let's put one in the vise, shall we? Okay, so this is the Assa, the old style keyway. I've got a Peterson Gem 18,000th euro. Right, so up the stack, and I have 5 as the binder there. Click. Okay, a little bit on 3. A little bit on 3 again, I think. A little bit on 4. A little bit on 4. A little bit on 1. A little bit on 3. Right. Little false set came on 5. Now, if I haven't set all the other ones bit by bit, I'm going to struggle to get them set now, because I'm pretty much in a lockdown situation where there is a pin somewhere that's holding me up. A little bit of feedback there on counter rotation on 2 on the new one. There we go. Okay, so number 2 there was a little pin holding that up. So that was the key with that one. Okay, so tell you what, I've got this one, the clip off, ready to disassemble to show you at the end. Okay, so this is a 5-pin. Okay, let's actually just put a little bit of tack on this, so maybe you can see a bit closer what I'm doing here. Some of these GeGe's are easier than others. There is no doubt to that, but there's no easy GeGe. Okay, so binding, I've got 3, little click. Okay, 5, click, move on. Little click again on 3. Okay, click on 4. Little bit on 3 as I touched it, bit on 2. Little bit on 1. Little bit on 3, little bit on 1. Click by click, nibble, nibble, nibble. Nibble, nibble, nibble. That's all you can do. And I don't know anymore. I can sort of say that it's good to do, but there we go. So the key pin number 3 just needed a little bit of a nudge, and that one opened. I'll disassemble that in a minute. Let me just keep that in shot somewhere so nobody cries wolf, or cries foul rather. Not that I really care, because I'm doing this to try and help people, not try and hoodwink people. Right, okay. So, and this one, this is the one I made last night, and this is probably the hardest of all of them. What are we on? 12 minutes, okay. So this one, right, is really awkward and difficult, but if you go for number 2 first, okay, now set about looking for the rest of it. There's a bit on 5. Okay, 3's binding, click, 4's binding, click, a little bit more on 5, nice, a little bit on 1. Okay, so I'm close now already, this is good. Okay, a little bit more on 3, a little bit on 2, nice good creak, a little bit more on 5, nice creak again. A little bit of bouncing before I go attacking a pin that may cost me. So yeah, remember it's got the tapered key pins, and something might just need a little bit of encouragement just to set. That's all it is. I'm not pushing, I'm just bouncing. Okay, so I'm thinking it's number 1, which I didn't want to go unless nothing else was on. There we go, it was number 1. Cool. No, I'll leave that in there actually. I'll get that out of the way. Okay, right, so tell you what, let's get a bit of a pinning shoe on the go. Okay, wind shot here. Yeah. I've never disassembled this, so this is a first for me. Yeah, it's a 5-pinner, as I said. We do have the tapered key pin, so I can explain those a little bit further. Okay, we don't usually have a lot of anything in the plug, which I mean they don't need it. yeah, I mean, every time I've tried to make a challenge lock out of a GG, you sort of end up making it a little bit easier, I think. It's, yeah. Right. So that's pin number 5, which is obviously serrated. Oh, shoot. Right, so there is a standard in here, and it was in number 2. I saw it popping out. And I'll show you something else here as well. Okay, let's get the springs out too. Okay, so let me just take the zoom off this. So down the bottom here, we have got sorry, that one is upside down. I thought there was something weird going on there. So yeah, we've got steel in number 1, standards in the rest of it. Can you see the tops of the key pins? They are all tapered. So that is why you need a little bit of nudging just to get clear the driver of the shear line. Yeah, so very, very nice idea. Up top then we've got a standard in number 2. So this is the third lock out of these I've got here that I've seen standard in number 2. And there you've got these nice heavily serrated key pins in the rest of them, drivers in the rest of them. Now there's a big one in number 3, and that is corresponding to a little key pin in number 3 down here. So they're balanced pin stacks. You with me? Hopefully so. And then if we look at the springs up the top, the first 5 are the GG pins, and then 6 and 7 are just an indication of the normal pins that, the normal springs that we use. So yeah, they're really, really strong. They're mini shock absorbers. That's what they are. So that is my take, and only my take, on the GG or the GG's. I hope someone's found it interesting, and obviously welcome questions and comments and anything, because I want to try and help anyone that I can with it. But yeah, okay, so this is banging on for a long time now. I'm going to let it go, and thank you ever so much for watching, and yeah, good luck with all your GG's. Take it easy, guys. Oh, and if you need to pause the video, there's a good shot of that as well. That's meant to say binding. Cheers. Be good.